Have you ever stared into the mirror at 3 a.m. and realized the face looking back is a complete stranger? You have. Because everything you call you is a ghost wearing your skin. A costume stitched together from decades of degrees, traumas, victories, labels. Beneath that heavy coat of paint, there is a void no money, no relationship, no success can ever fill. You are the prisoner of your own story. Worse, you are the warden holding the key, too terrified to open the door. Arunachala. The earth is dry. The heat burns without mercy. A man stands before Ramana Maharshi, carrying the unbearable weight of a mind that never shuts up. He has traveled the world begging for a magic pill, a formula to silence the hell inside his head. He kneels, desperate, exhausted. Ramana doesn't move. He isn't a stage guru selling cheap peace. He is the mirror the man has spent his whole life avoiding. His eyes are two abysses of pure, terrifying presence. The man begs for help. Ramana tilts his head. One question. One bullet fired straight into the center of the man's identity. Who is suffering? The silence that follows isn't peace. It's pure psychological vertigo. The man stutters. He lists his past, his pain, his name, everything he has ever used to prove he exists. Ramana cuts through him, calm but merciless. You are telling me the history of a character. I didn't ask for the script. I asked who you are, before the story was ever written. The man opens his mouth. Nothing comes out. For the first time in his life, he has no answer prepared. No degree, no title, no wound he can hide behind. Just a question, standing in the desert heat, refusing to leave. He doesn't know it yet, but the demolition has already begun. Look at your body, Ramana says, his voice lower now. Less blade, more weight. This flesh, these tense muscles, they will age, they will rot. They were never you. They are a form the universe is quietly wearing, and will one day quietly remove. The man looks down at his own hands, as if seeing them for the first time. And the mind. Ramana continues. That endless noise you call thinking, where does it go when you sleep without dreaming? It vanishes completely every single night, and you do not die. Something remains awake, even in that absence. Call it what you like. It was never the noise. The man's breathing slows. The urgency in his chest begins, almost imperceptibly, to loosen. You have spent your life obsessed with a tragic film playing across a screen. Ramana says, so obsessed that you forgot you were never the actor. You are the space in which the film is allowed to appear at all. The man frowns. Not in resistance now, but in genuine confusion. The first honest confusion of his life. Then, who has been suffering all these years? Ramana doesn't answer directly. He rarely does. He simply lets the question hang in the dry air between them, the way a teacher lets a child sit with a problem instead of solving it for them. The name on your birth certificate? Ramana finally says, was given to a character. It was never given to you. The man says nothing, but something in his shoulders, held tight for 30 years, drops half an inch. He came here armed with a lifetime of proof that he was broken. Ramana has not argued with a single piece of that proof. He has simply asked, again and again, who it belongs to. What if the pain you carry was never actually yours? Ramana asks. What if it only ever belonged to the character you mistook for yourself? The man's resistance, the identity he built from a lifetime of wounds and victories, begins to loosen its grip. Not violently, but the way a fist slowly opens when it finally realizes there was never anything to hold. Ramana watches him with quiet patience. He knows the mind prefers a familiar suffering over an unfamiliar freedom. So he offers, gently, the last piece. You believe the world breaks you. Ramana says, but the truth is simpler and kinder than you think. You suffer because you identify with the movie playing on the screen, instead of recognizing that you are the screen itself. Picture a dark cinema. On the screen, lovers weep. Cities burn. Heroes rise and fall. For the characters, every tragedy is real. But does the fire ever burn the screen? Does the flood ever leave it wet? The screen holds every story, without being touched by a single one of them. Your body, your worry, your endless searching. Ramana says, it is simply light moving through the dark for a little while. You were never the bleeding character. You are the quiet space that allows the story to be told. The man sits with this for a long moment. He isn't fighting it anymore. He is simply looking. The way you look at something you have somehow always known, but never had words for. A breeze moves through the dry trees above them. Somewhere, a bird calls once, and falls silent, as if it too had nothing left to argue. For the first time since he arrived, the man is not trying to understand. He is simply present, no longer reaching for the next thought, no longer building the next defense. The man sits in a silence that no longer feels like emptiness. He stops trying to grasp it with logic, because he can feel, quietly, that logic was only ever another scene in the film. He stops searching for consciousness in books, in rituals, in the next teacher who might finally have the answer. He understands without being told again. Ramana's quiet secret. You do not find awareness. You are it. It was never hidden, only forgotten beneath the weight of the story. Ramana speaks once more, softer now than at any point since the man arrived. Not a command, not a death sentence to the ego. Simply an invitation. Stop trying to change the film. He says, stop resisting the scenes you hate. Just stop believing you are the character. Everything else settles on its own. The man rises slowly. He does not stand like someone who has found a treasure. He stands like someone who has quietly stopped carrying something he no longer needs to carry. He does not thank Ramana with words. There is nothing left to add to what has already been understood. The wind moves through Arunachala the way it always has. Indifferent and constant. The heat still burns. Nothing outside him has changed. But he walks differently now, not away from his suffering, but simply no longer gripping it. Before he leaves, Ramana offers one final thread, quiet as breath. Next time the panic returns, ask only this: to whom does it come? And then don't answer. Just wait in the silence and watch what remains. The man walks into the heat, no longer searching for the door out of his prison. He has finally noticed there was never a lock.